Yeah, we're back. We're going to Wembley. Is that too soon? Is it too soon? It's too soon, isn't it? Good evening. Welcome to a brand new slot, Mondays, as it has to be now, because, well, the grafter's back grafting. And it's good to be back. We've missed you. Honestly, we really, really have missed you. Joining us tonight on the show, we have the Mad Mistake. Terry, how's your day been?
Very tiring. Bit like what Bob Geldof used to say, I don't like Mondays.
Oh, I love Mondays. Mondays are my vodka days. They're my weekend, aren't they? We've been joined by a bit of eye candy with us tonight. The lovely Jack Shields is with us. Jack, how's your day been?
I thought you were setting up Emma there, Phil. I thought I was
Well, that's comedy time.
No, I'm good. No, I just feel a bit weird being here on a Monday after work. But I suppose just getting back in the swing of things would be good to have a big crack about Sunderland as always.
And good to see the lovely Emma has joined us. Emma, how's your day been?
Not too bad. A bit stressful with work, but hey ho, to see him every day.
There you go. Just quickly tell you about this new format then. We are going to be live every Monday. We're still going to do the Thursday night show as well. So Mondays and Thursdays, you can join us live. Make sure you do that. And we're going to try and add as much content to the channel as we can just to get back up to speed and keep you all informed with all things Sunderland. You can join in. We are live, which means you can join us via the live chat already on there. Liam Brennan, hi to you. CONRAD Tank, Mick Griffiths is there. David Jobling, Scrappy Dog 100, Superman, and Marion Trowells all with us this evening already. Before we do start and get into the match, which was on Saturday, the FA Cup game, I do want to say a massive thank you to everybody who supported the channel while we've been sort of like a little bit off air and has kept supporting us. We're very grateful to you for that. So the match, Shrewsbury 1, Sunderland 2 through the next round of the FA Cup. Terrible start, first 15 minutes. I mean, it was all them. Any reason why, Jack? Do you want to start us off with that? What reason around that?
I think I don't know whether it was a bit of complacency on our part or maybe they were just more into the game than we were, but they did start the better. They were in our faces, weren't they? They were pressing us hard and high up the pitch, very direct with the football. You could call it long ball, but they were physical. They were certainly more physical than us. And really, the first 15, 20 minutes, I would even go as far to say towards half an hour, to be honest, Phil. It was looking like they were going to score. I was surprised. I thought, if we can get into half time, we can't surely be as bad as this in the second half. They hit the bar, big chance that, on another day that drops in and we go 1-0 down. I thought the last 5 or 10 minutes in the first half, we did start and get our foot on the ball a little bit. We start to show a little bit more control in the game, more possession. I just think they were right up for it. I think they maybe caught us on the hop a little bit, Phil, but maybe it was a little bit of complacency because we're a league above them and just thinking we would just turn up and it would be a walkover, but they were certainly in our faces from the off, and it was a bit of a shock to the system. Thankfully, we weathered it, but they did start the better.
Well, honestly, I'm so interested in what you said there, Jack. The problem is I didn't hear very much of it. I think we've got a little bit of Michael Bauer's internet problem here. It's all over the place. I seem to be losing a bit of signal, but whatever you said, I fully agree with you, Jack, because you always talk a lot of sense. Emma, why did we start so badly?
I think literally what Jack said is that they come out wanting it more the first 15, 20 minutes. They caught one hop. It was similar at Blackpool as well. We started crap. And then it was like we just got the composure and we just started playing and working together as a team.
Right, okay, so slow out the blocks. Terry, your thoughts? Why? I mean, they were absolutely, they battered us the first sort of 15 minutes. They were all over us. So, reasoning for that? What do you think?
Well, it's the FA Cup, isn't it? It's the third round. It's a sort of big team versus a team not doing so good in League One, and it's a cup glory, isn't it? Everyone, all the other teams up for it, up against the big guns like Sunderland we are these days in the Championship, trying to get a scalp. And I thought I didn't think we were that bad in the first half an hour. I just thought they were just pressing a bit more, and we had a change side and probably slightly changed shape, didn't we? Like we were 4-3-3 rather than 4-2-3-1. So just getting used to it, to be honest. No Stewart up top like normal over the last few games. So I just thought they were up for it more in the first sort of half an hour, 20 minutes, and really going for it. And we sort of just soaked the pressure up a little bit until we got control of the game.
I've got to say, I slightly disagree. I thought it was terrible. I thought we started really bad, and for me, I mean, they're bad as. But anyway, it's all about opinions. Go to the chat very quickly. Ben Hansen, who wants to be your husband, Emma, says the tantrums are over now, Emma. Whatever all that's about. Is that because you couldn't get your mouse to work? David Jones, good to see you all. Good to have you back, David, down there. Colin Major, hi everyone. Well, it's about bloody time, he says. Mick Griffiths is the magic of the FA Cup. Were you happy with the changes, what we made, the starting lineup, Emma?
It was nice to see different players, but in all honesty, I think in total, the actual start and not giving in the subs, it was what, 6 changes, I think. So when you look at who had on this is the subs, it was pretty much, if you put them on, it was my full strength squad. So I was a bit iffy about it, but like I say, it's nice to see some different players getting the start.
Right, fair enough. Terry, was you happy with the team we put out to start with?
To be fair, I thought it was a lot stronger than I thought they were going to. I thought they were a lot stronger than we were going to put out. I thought we put out maybe 1 or 2 more youngsters, and I thought it was a pretty strong side, to be fair. I mean, apart from Stewart, we had in Clark, we had almost our first teamers out. I mean, Ahmad started, you had Robert starting, you had young Benetti got a chance. Bar's been playing well. Mishoot and Neil in midfield, like they've been doing the last couple of games in a strong defence. Moved Luke O'Nien to the left back position. And I thought he would completely rest Neil and Luke O'Nien, but obviously they didn't, and just as well never, to be honest, because Luke O'Nien got the winner.
Jack, was you happy with his lineup?
Yeah, I agree with Terry. I was expecting 2 or 3 of the young lads to be featuring. I looked at the squad and I thought that's a pretty strong squad. I think, like Terry says, there was only Stewart and Clark and the keeper Patterson that wasn't first choice. You know what I mean? So it was basically bar 2 or 3. It was pretty much our full strength team, and I think that was a bit more surprising as to why we started the game so poorly. Do you know what I mean? If we'd started with a bit of a sort of weakened team with a lot of young lads, you could maybe say, oh well, Shrewsbury more experienced, started the game better. Do you know what I mean? They're more up for it. Our young lads are a bit off colour a little bit, but the fact it was a fairly strong Sunderland team, that was even more disappointing and even more surprising as to why we started the game so poorly. I think ultimately it would be nice to have a good FA Cup run, but I think the league is always our bread and butter until we become a strong enough team to really have a run at these cups. So I would hate to think that he'd started Ross Stewart and he got injured in the first half. So I do agree with him slightly resting, the more key players in our team, shall we say.
Fair point. Apologies for the internet connection if it's a bit ropey at the moment. We will get that sorted in time. Just very quickly, back to the chat. Ian Barron is on there, our resident Darlington FC fan, who are flying high at the top of their league. Well done to Darlington. Nice to see you get promoted. That would be great. David Jones says, saying it now, Sunderland to finish in the playoffs and win the final. I can smell it for sure. We will sort of touch on that. DJ Davis saying, evening lads. Anybody know if Danny Ings is a free agent? What his wages rule is out. Again, we'll get on to transfers a little bit later on. And GS 2000, Fulham have a squad full of quality. It's a big ask to go down there and get anything. Terry, you was wondering.
Yeah, we didn't have any great experience in midfield. I mean, you're talking Bar and Mishoot's only 19 and Dan Neil's 21, so maybe he's just being put under pressure in the cup match early on, and then 3 being in the middle for the first time together. Then maybe that's just so they got used to each other. That was what happened. We got pushed back a little bit in midfield, I thought.
Right, okay. Going on the first half, one of the biggest talking points of the first half was when Robert Scott fouled in the box. penalty or no penalty? Simple as that, Jack.
Well, I must admit, when it first happened, I thought it did look like he went down a little bit easily, which I don't think helped his cause. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds silly, but the way that he fell quite hard and sort of theatrical, I don't think that helped him. So I didn't think it was. When I saw it back, I thought it definitely was. So I'm not going to have too much of a go at the referee, because it would be hypocritical when I didn't think it was the first goal. And then I looked back on it again and I thought it was a penalty. So it would be a bit hypocritical of me to have too much of a go at the referee. But you've got a fourth official on the touchline as well, Phil. You've got the referee and the fourth official between them. One of them should be able to see that there's contact on Patrick Roberts. So yeah, well, it probably was a penalty.
Yeah, but it's at this level, I think fourth official's probably a waste of time. Terry, was it a penalty?
I mean, as soon as he went down, I went absolutely apeshit on my live stream, because I knew it was a blatant penalty. You could see straight away it was a blatant penalty. I mean, come on, I mean, that referee. I watched the back of the referee.
Terry, hang on. I wouldn't say a blatant penalty. It's like Jack put it, he nailed it really. He went down and you thought, well, you know, but when you saw it later, for me, it was a penalty.
Let me explain myself first. I watched the replay, and as he goes in for the challenge, a player runs right in front of the referee's line of vision, so he didn't actually see what happened. Yeah. So I think that's what, he didn't really catch it properly, but I thought it was a blatant penalty. And I was slagging off the referee. I don't usually slag off referees, but I was slagging off the referee at the time until I realised that, you know, he sort of, I think he just missed it. But where's these lines people at, or what do you want to call them? They're absolute waste of space as well.
Well, they're told not to sort of like get involved, because it makes the referee look an idiot, doesn't it? You know, overrule him. It's waste time.
I wouldn't take much, to be fair.
Just very quickly before I go to you, Emma, just very quickly on the chat, Glyn Jones says 100% penalty, and Jack Clark's as well. Ian Brown, Philip, take your hat off. Internet connector. Emma, was the penalty?
110%. It was a penalty. Straight away, as soon as you see it on the tally, you knew it was, but I can see why it wasn't given, because of the ref's position. Where he was, you couldn't really see it properly. But watching it at home, it was 110% a Stonewall penalty. To me, it didn't go down too easy. To me,
I think
it was a penalty. He shouldn't have been booked.
He was a bit theatrical going down. He was trying to make sure seeing down. I think that's probably what went against him. I think, but I mean, fair play to the referee. I mean, the referee sees it once, first time, and that's it. And like Terry said, he was a little bit blocked off. To be honest, I think so. I don't think you can really blame the ref. Right, so we was a lot better second half. Came out much better team. Was that because of the changes Mowbray made? You know, the right choices, and is that what changes? Terry,
I can't even remember any changes he made after half time. What changes did he make at half time? He didn't make any changes at half time.
Just 50 minutes or something like that. He brought.
I thought as the game went on anyway, I thought the last 15 minutes of the first half, and I thought the majority of the second half, we completely controlled the game. The only downfall, I thought, we tried to walk the ball in the back of the net. We were trying too much tippy-tappy passing it around, and nobody wanted to shoot from, like, say, from beyond the penalty area, the penalty spot. I thought we controlled the game. We passed the ball nicely. I thought Ahmad, I thought Roberts got a good combination there together, a good sort of understanding of each other play. I thought Barr did well. I thought the midfield did well. I thought we took control of the game. I thought it was just a matter of time before we scored a goal. I really did.
I've got to agree with you, Terry. I mean, even when we was going into injury time, I mean, we battered them second half, and you know, going into injury time, you see an equaliser coming, and now got the equaliser. I could still see us sort of nicking it, which is exactly what we did. Just very quickly before I pass this round, back to the chat. Liam Brennan says, now that relegation looks unlikely, Well, it's a tight league, mate. I mean, there's not a lot of points between top and bottom. But now it looks unlikely. He says we should push on in this cup. Why not? Emma, better second half once he made the changes, or were they a good choice bringing Stewart and Clark on?
Yeah, I think obviously when he made the changes and he basically got rid of the false nine and brought Stewart on. I think the game changed, but it was starting to change just before that. And I'm pleased he brought Stewart on when he did, if I'm honest with you, because obviously we don't want to risk Stewart getting injured again. But I think he brought him on at the right time. I think he made the changes spot on, if I'm honest with you.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, before I go to you, Jack, back to the chat. Jimmy Stoko says, good day today, taunting the Mags, reminding Scum that we beat that League One side 3 times last season. Elliot Alderson says, wasn't a pen for me when Roberts jumped 2 meters in the air. He gave up the right to appeal. Mick Griffiths said, looked like a pen to him. So, Jack, second half was much better. Was it because of the changes?
Well, I think we'd improved before the changes, to be fair, Phil. I think Tony Mowbray had given them what you might call a good rollicking at half-time and just reminded them that, where we've come so far this season, and it's not by playing like that. I think we got the grips of the game a little bit better. We were a little bit more physical in the second half, I felt. I thought we battled a little bit stronger in the tackle. We won possession more and we kept it better as well. We kept the ball better. We moved it quicker. We started to tire them out. I think they dropped off a little bit as well. I think we're always going to look at it from a Sunderland perspective, but I think Shrewsbury dropped off. I noticed sort of 55, 60 minutes. Their press wasn't as high. They weren't as quick out to us. And I think that gave us a little bit more time on the ball, which is, always good for a team like us who moves it a lot and keeps possession so well. I think they did drop off a little bit. And we were in control. As has been touched on, we were keeping the ball well. It looked like it was only going to be a matter of time before we got the 1-0. We got the goal and probably went on to win 1 or 2-0. And just a bit of a surprise that they scored from really nothing. A snapshot of a corner and it sort of bobbled in. Really soft goal to give away. And it was against the run of play. We gave ourselves a mountain to climb, but on this occasion we managed it.
Yeah, definitely. Just very quickly back to the chat. David Miller makes a very valid point. He said if the ref didn't see the penalty, he didn't have the reason to book Roberts, which is a fair comment. Just very quickly, we've got 77 people on the live stream at the moment. We'd like to at least hit 50 likes if we can. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do so. If you're watching on a mobile device and you have the live chat open, just close that and see the thumbs up. Just whack. And let's get those likes up if we can. It will help the channel. And also, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Like we say, it does help the channel out. Right then, what we'll put to you now, Chris Rigg, Sunderland youngest ever outfield player at 15 years old, came on for the last 10 minutes or so. What do you think of him, Jack? Did you see enough of him?
I thought he looked very, very good, very, very mature performance from him. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what you were all doing when you were 15, but I certainly wouldn't have been ready to play, even if I had the talent to play for Sunderland. So I think you've got to take your hat off to him firstly for being so keen to come on and really rising to the occasion. I felt he did improve. It's no coincidence that when he came on, we started to look like we had a bit more of a cutting edge. He played some excellent balls in, and I liked how willing he was to get the ball as well, Phil. For such a young lad, he might have been hiding a little bit and not wanting the ball in case he made a mistake, but I felt he was very confident on the ball. He looked like he was willing to get the ball and make passes and go forwards. I think, it would have been easier for him to just sit and play square balls and knock it back, but he put some decent balls in. I seem to remember 2 or 3 balls up to Stewart that he put in. But I think going forward, not just Chris Rigg, I think it is something that we need to look at as a club to try and get the youngsters coming through. And I think, it's a sign, when you're getting players that are playing that at that age, it can only be a positive thing for Sunderland moving forwards because, if you can get a good academy, which I think we've got the facilities, and they can produce regular players, regular players coming into the first team, that can only be a positive thing. So I think it was excellent, really, really good.
Yeah, I think if you're bringing somebody on at 15, I think if he's willing to put him in at 15, he's got to have something. I mean, you know, I remember Wayne Rooney playing for Everton at 16, and you know, look how special he was. Whether we can keep him or not, I know there's other clubs touting him, and I do believe I think he's a Newcastle fan as well, and he's so in a way, you know, not nice for us, but you couldn't blame him if he went to his boyhood or club who he supports. But nice to try and keep hold of him. Emma, what did you think of him, Chris Rigg?
I want to see more of him. To be fair, I'd like to see him a bit more to give a full honest opinion. But when he came on, he did look very, very composed, especially for a 15-year-old lad. I mean, what 15-year-old lad do you know that would put on the boots, step out in front of all them fans, playing for a team, for an FA Cup, and look as composed as he? I mean, was it Rigg that actually won the corner that led to Stewart's goal as well? So if it wasn't for him...
Right, okay. All right, thanks, Emma. Just very quickly, I want to go back to the chat. Mick Griffith says, I was playing with my little marbles when I was 15, which is funny because Karen was playing with my little marbles last night as well. Terry, Chris Rigg, what did you think?
Exactly what the other two said. I mean, he looks mature for his years, doesn't he? Let's just take some into account here. I think he only trains twice a week with the team. I mean, he's at school. He's still at school lad, doing his homework, still doing his schoolwork. I think he's got permission to be released from school twice a week to train with the lads. So that proves how much more mature and how further on than he is at most youngsters at his age. And when he came on, we were getting beat 1-0 at the time. They'd just scored a goal. So now you can look at it two ways. You can say he's mature for his years. His parents are Newcastle fans. I've heard from various sources that he's happy and wants to stay at Sunderland at this moment in time. But also, I've been told by various contacts saying that by him playing these matches, as you say, for instance, if the club knows they're going to lose him, if they play him, then his price goes up. Now, I don't know when you can actually get a price on him. I don't know whether at 15 years of age, you don't get any money or is it a certain amount of money you can only get until you get a professional contract at 16. I don't know how that works. But you can look at it that side of things. You're going to lose him, so why not play him and show everybody how good he is? But at the same time, we can also say, on the other hand, is that if we play him, we show to him we've got faith in the young lad. He won't get first-team action at Manchester United. He won't get first-team action at Newcastle, but he'll get first-team action. He's got more chance of progress through the ranks and get more first-team in the Championship at Sunderland, where you'd probably end up one day anyway of getting loaned out from the big clubs up ahead anyway. So for me, it depends which way you look at it. I hope he stays. I hope he progresses with Sunderland. I'd love to see him stay until like he's past his 18th birthday, and then after that, make a decision what's going to happen. But for me, I hope he stays.
Right, Jackie was one in there.
Yeah, it was just to touch on what Terry was saying. I believe it would go to some kind of tribunal, because if he's not of a certain age and a club wants to sign one of our players, then it can move, but we are entitled to some kind of a fee set by a tribunal somewhere. So they would go and say, right, that's how old he is, that's his potential, that's the market value for a sort of 15, 16-year-old lad. This is what Sunderland would be entitled to pay. And then the respective team that wants to sign him would have to pay whatever that fee is. I think that's the way it would work. I'm correct. I might be corrected in the chat, but I think that's the way it would go. I think it's important we get young players through as well, because our squad's one of the youngest in the Championship, isn't it? So if you can play along younger lads and you can see the progression and how much they're developing, you know, it might spur them on and think, well, hang on, Sunderland have created a great squad here for young players being developed under Tony Mowbray, who's got experience of developing young players, and hopefully he'll have his head screwed on enough to think, well, I'm not going to be getting any chances at Newcastle. I'll stay at Sunderland, and as Terry says, a much better chance of coming through and making it.
There's one thing I think looks good he looks very happy. He looks very happy playing at Sunderland. Whenever you see him, he's got a massive smile on his face. When he's with the academy, he always looks as if he's, he's got lots of friends there. He seems very happy. So I hope he does want to stay. I hope like people who are in charge let him stay.
Right, just very quickly then. Back to the chat. Charlie Rowan says he didn't really notice him much on the ball at Shrewsbury. I sort of disagree. I think he had quite a bit of the play, and for a 15-year-old to come on, he could have quite easily been bullied, even if he's a big, strong lad. You know what I mean? At 15, you're not. It is literally men against boys. I do believe he's the England captain, isn't he, for the under somethings? He's actually England. Colin. He is England captain, so he'll be used to sort of big occasions and stuff like that. DJ Dave says, imagine his mates at school asking, "What did you get up to at the weekend?" And Elliot Alderson says he's heard rumours that Sunderland have paid for Chris Rigg's parents' house, but I've also heard that clubs coming in are dangling carrots for the parents, saying, has cars and things like that, which goes on. It happens, so we can just, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes there. Did we deserve the win then? Oh, sorry, Emma, go on.
I was just about to say, in regards to Rigg, I'm all for going to the academy, getting the younger lads in, giving them a chance and things like that. But is this not a penny pinching sort of thing from Sunderland by bringing them in and not buying anybody?
Well, to be honest, I mean, the figure what's been bandied about for Chris Rigg has been £3 million. And I think the current regime at the club are very much penny pinchers. And I think they would snatch somebody's hand off for £3 million, regardless of his talent or whatever. Terry?
Well, when Donald and Metford were in charge, they sold Joe Ugill, didn't they, for like $250,000 or whatever it was. So, but I think with KLD in charge, it might have changed slightly, swaying towards keeping him. And I like to think that we do keep him. And fair enough, maybe penny pinching, Emma, but at the same time, if someone deserves it, they should be rewarded. So we don't know what happens in the training pitch and what happens in the training area and other matches behind closed doors. But if he's shown that he's better than what we've got at this moment in time, or equally as good, or shown that potential is there, then I think, end of the day, if you reap the rewards, you should have just desserts,
Terry, do you generally think that Stuart Donald's not running this club? Because I think he's running it. I think it's what they wanted all along. They wanted a money man in there, and they wanted to run it. And the way it's being run still, for me, it's still penny pinching. It's still selling off assets and stuff like that. And it just stinks of Stuart Donald running it because KLD, for me, is not really anything. Terry, do you agree or not?
I think it's probably more Sartori and KLD who's running the show. I don't think Stuart Donald has anything to do with it now, personally. I think he's gone. I think he's just raking in. He's just going to rake in them when he gets to his shares, when they get promoted eventually to the Premier League. I think it's the other two that runs it now. And penny pinching, why, look at the people they've brought in. They've brought some good youngsters in. So you can say, oh, yes, the penny pinching, but at the same time, you can think, are they really got an eye for a young player to get these quality players in? Because we can't really complain that, we're in the top 10. We're 8th place in the championship, past halfway. You always say, look after the new year, see where you are then judge it. We've lost Stuart for 3 months. He's scored 5 goals in 5 games since he's come back. So imagine those 3 months. If Stuart had been there, we probably would have been in the top 6. So I think, end of the day, they might be doing a good job. They are so far.
Yeah, I think you can.
For me, go on, Jack.
I was just going to say, I don't think you can be too critical of. I was just going to say, I don't think you can be too critical of the recruitment, to be fair, because you look at where we were a year ago with the squad we had, and you look at the football we're playing and the young lads coming through now. You can see a future for Sunderland. You know what I mean? A year ago, a year and a half ago, you couldn't. We had an aging squad. We were still in League One, and now you can see sort of direction. I think as a club is what we want to go down. Do you know what I mean? We're going to be trying to improve young players and watching them develop. And yeah, the position we're in at the minute, we are a big club, but we are a championship club. If that means that we develop young players, and then they go on and they're sold for millions and millions of pounds. I get it. I get why people want to keep these young players, but if we can get a lot of money for them and then develop the club onwards again, then you know what I mean, that might be the model that we have to go down until we're a bit more established and we are likely to get in the Premier League, and then sign the players that we're looking to get now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. I think the recruitment's been absolutely superb. The problem is with like the loan signings, it's a double-edged sword. You get a loan signing and they do brilliant, and there's Ahmad, and he's like, he's set the world on fire, and now Man United are sort of looking at. I didn't realise, but my mate told me. He's a Man United fan. Man United paid 37 million for him, apparently, when they got him from Atalanta, which I wasn't aware of. But no, it still stinks of Stuart Donald's penny pinching for me. Still, I hope I'm wrong, but like I say, I do also agree. The recruitment has been, you can't knock it. We tried at the start of the season before, when we're saying, we haven't brought anybody in, we haven't bought anybody, and we went on a brilliant start, and we think, well, maybe Speakman's got it right. Before I pass this around, just let me quickly go to the chat. If it says, no, keep the lad, let him develop. 3 million is nowadays. I agree, 3 million is nothing, but it depends who's running the club. They'll see 3 million as a lot of money. What about a man of the match then for Saturday, Emma? Outstanding player?
Ooh. Man of the match. I'm going to give it an 09, actually. And my reason for that is, although he was playing at the left, at the back, he was also playing in midfield. He was all over. So, yeah, I'm giving it a look 09 for Saturday.
Fantastic. Terry, man of the match?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think out of all the players this season, he's the one player I think that's improved hand over fist. I think he's come on loads this season. I think he hardly puts a foot wrong. I think he's being moved around in defence again, back to on the left back position, and he scored the winner. But I think he just, he's just what you want to see from a player. He gives 110%. He's willing to go for everything, and when the fans are watching him, you think, yeah, he's played his heart out. And at the end of the day, I think he's improved loads this season. I think he's been man of the match on many occasions for me this season.
Is he gone?
Is that your dog? Sorry, you're sticking a lot. Once again, I can only apologise to the viewers watching for this internet connection. We will actually, I'll dig out the old SAFC Fan TV computer for Thursday, and then we'll be flying, is what we'll be doing. Uvan Aras, Jack, man of the match?
Yeah, hat trick, Luke O'Nien for me as well. I've been critical of him in the past on this show, but I have to admit he's making me eat my words this season beyond any shadow of doubt. He's been fantastic. He's been consistent, and really now you get in a position whereby you can't drop him. You have to fit Luke O'Nien in the defence, don't you? I mean, the way he's playing, I thought he won every 50-50. He was physical when they needed to be physical. I think that's one attribute for him that goes unnoticed, because you look at our team. We're a team full of fairly slight lads, really good technical ability, but we're not a really physical, strong team. So I think when Luke O'Nien's got his awkward head on and he's not letting the other opposition strikers bully him, it's great, because I think he didn't let anybody get the better of him on Saturday. He won every 50-50. And then to top it all off, obviously, he slots in the winner in injury time like he was a top striker in the Premier League. So, yeah, I must admit he was fantastic, and he has been brilliant this season. So consistent. And you first name on the team sheet, really, these days, isn't he? Bar Ross Stewart.
Yeah, just I don't know. I mean, I like Luke O'Nien, and he's everything. He's everything a footballer should be. He's got great morals. He's just a lovely, lovely lad. I just can't get away from the fact that sometimes he can be a bit of a liability. I think you know, he'll jump in and get booked. But yeah, cracking game on Saturday. So I'll go with that as well, and we'll have a full house with him. So we had the draw for the FA Cup, Fulham away. Are you happy with that, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, from a selfish point of view, it's one of those grounds I haven't been to, so it'll be one for me to tick off my 92, so to speak. I must admit, though, Phil, I think Leeds were left in it with 3 teams to go, and it would have been a cracking tie. I know Leeds have to get past Cardiff in the replay, which I think they will do. But when I saw Leeds still available, Leeds or Cardiff, I was thinking Leeds would be great. Nice short journey, big allocation. A little bit of FA Cup history between us and Leeds, of course, 1973. So it would have been great. I would have preferred Leeds, but no, I'm happy with that. I think it's a good test, though, in all seriousness, because Fulham have had an excellent season, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? I think they're in mid-table in the Premier League. I think they're actually above Chelsea and Brentford. They're winning that sort of West London, Battle of West London between those 3. I think Fulham are slightly on top of the minute. So it'll be a really, really good test. I think they'll go into it as favourites as well, but it'll be a good opportunity to see how good this Sunderland team are. And I think we should go there fearless. You know what I mean? We're with the underdogs and go there and give them a right good game. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, just before I bring you in there, Terry. Yeah, 1973, well before you was born, there, Jack. And yeah, I mean, you was also telling us before we came on air we're gonna have 2 back-to-back London games. Is that right?
Yeah, because we've got Fulham in the cup, and then the week later we've got Millwall both away. So London trips for the Mackems 2 weeks in a row.
And then it's QPR on the 14th as well.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, QPR a week and 10 days later. So yeah, 3 trips within a couple of weeks down to London. So plenty of miles.
Well, we'll all go. We'll book in a hotel. We'll stay for the week. We'll all go down. Terry, I think you was one in there.
I was just going to say first about Luke 09. I think the old Luke 09 would have got a yellow card and dived in. I think he's improved this season in the last, 10 games or so. I think he's definitely improved. So I think the new Luke 09 is much better one. So, but I think Fulham, I thought was a shit tie. I wasn't happy at all. I wanted a home match or, a nice bit of if we're going to go away to one of the big clubs. But Fulham, I think it's just one of those. And I hope we can do it. I hope we can get a win, but I've got me doubts about it, to be honest. But I hope we can get a win, but I thought it was a horrible tie. Horrible club they can't do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Jack. I mean, watching the draw and seeing that, 4 teams left in it. We were in there, Leeds were in there. I know they've got to play Cardiff and that, but you was thinking, oh, come on, let's have Leeds. And then when Fulham came out, Fulham away, I agree with you, Terry. It's not a nice tie. They're not doing anything, and they're probably not going to go down the sort of mid-table Premiership. So they'll probably concentrate on the cup. So that'll be a tricky game. But if we can, we're capable of getting something, but it's going to be tricky. Emma, how did you feel about Fulham away?
Yeah, I'll take it. Could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot worse. It is going to be a test, though, kind of is what Jack was saying, to see what the team we've got can do now. Because I would like Mowbray to go out all guns blazing against Fulham to see how far we've come since our League One days, basically. But I would have loved the home tie rather than the away tie, because I think if we had the home tie, we would have had the 12th man on that pitch against them as well. I mean, obviously, I know the away support's great anyway, and we still will, but I would have loved the home tie.
Right, fair enough. Johnny Cool, who we bumped into, I think, at Wigan away one time. Hi, Johnny Cool. Thanks for tuning in. Could easily beat Fulham. Saying, well, I think they'll put a strong team out. I don't think they've any reason to rest anyone. I mean, I was. I'm going to ask you now: is anybody who would have preferred? We're not like in Fulham, and I was there waiting for, come on, let's get the minds, come on. And then I realised they weren't even in the 4th round, so that was happy days, wasn't it? Terry, if you'd have had a choice out of anybody, who would you have liked?
Well, I just said I wanted to play someone like Wrexham at home. I thought it would have been quite good.
It's funny you say that. I mean, for anybody, if you've not watched the documentary on Disney Plus, Welcome to Wrexham, fantastic watch. It really is for any football fan. And then, you know, I mean, me and Karen watched we binge watched it. And it's one of them things where you want them to go up, you're watching how they're doing and stuff like that. And it would have been that I was over the moon. They went to Coventry on, and I would have liked to have got Wrexham. And it wouldn't have been an easy game, but you've got a bit of a soft spot for him now. So if you haven't seen it yet, welcome to Wrexham.
It would have been Disney versus Netflix, wouldn't it?
It would have been. It would have been. Aye. So, Jack, if you've had anybody in the draw, would you have preferred?
Yeah, Wrexham wouldn't have been a bad one again. You know, you've got Ryan Reynolds and you've got Bootlegger, that the daft lad on YouTube who does daft videos, drunken half the time. It would have been interesting to see him. I think you do look for ties like that, don't you? You look for teams that you haven't played, you wouldn't play regularly. You know what I mean? I think there's nothing worse than when you're in the FA Cup and you just get a tie against a team that you've played regularly, like the Shrewsbury. You know, when we drew them, you know, in the last round, it was like, oh, everyone a bit of excitement for the third round draw, and it was like, who have we got? Shrewsbury. Well, I'm sick of playing Shrewsbury. Do you know what I mean? We've played them for 4 years in a row. So I think any tie that's a little bit different. I noticed Boreham Wood is still in it. I think they got a replay in the third round. Yeah. Boreham Wood, they're a non-league team just around about Watford area. I think they're more famous for having the Big Brother studios in Boreham Wood, I think. But little ties like that, they really make the FA Cup interesting, don't they? So I think it would have been good to have someone like that. Or like a big away tie at like a Leeds or a Man United or a Man City. You know what I mean? That would have been really good if we could have took a few thousand down to there. So, yeah, Fulham, I'll take it, but it's not the most exciting of ties. But let's see what it brings.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing. Yeah, I think it's Boreham Wood. I think they're playing Aldershot, I think it is in there. Somebody like that, but they were still in it. Just very quickly before I go to you, Emma, back to the chat. Griffith says there's no replays in the next round, I don't think. I think that's correct. I don't think there is. I think it just goes extra time and then penalties from now on.
I thought it was that there is that this round is the last round that they have replays. I might be wrong on that, but I thought it was the third and fourth round, and then it stops after this one. That's what I thought, but I'll be happy to be proved wrong.
Right, okay. If anybody knows in the chat, David Walker's come on the chat there already and said third and fourth round do have replays. So there you go. Thanks, David Walker, to you. Emma, anybody in the fourth round who would you have liked?
Like you, to be fair, Wrexham, a club that we don't play regularly. It would have been nice. I mean, I was looking and I was like, oh no, watch, we're going to get Accrington. I couldn't do Accrington again. What was it, like 3 times in one season we did that? And it was like, I couldn't do it. You want, as Jack said, that different team that you don't play in week out, week in, week out. So it would have been for one of the like clubs, if you like.
Yeah, it would have been. And I mean, and if we'd have got Wrexham at home, they'd have brought thousands up as well. I mean, they took a good following down to Coventry. It would have been a great atmosphere up at the Stadium of Light. Just very quickly, Charlie Rowan on the chat confirms from the 5th round on 4th round does have a replay. 56 like 50 wanted. If you haven't hit the like button yet, it's the thumbs up button. Just hit that. It'll take you a second to do so. If you're watching on a mobile device and you've got the live chat on, just close the live chat. You'll see the thumbs up. Smash that. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to us. It's absolutely free to do so, and it does help the channel out as well. Back to the chat. Charlie McKeever says, if we manage to keep Stewart, we might be in with a chance of beating Fulham, which brings us on to transfers. Ross Stewart, transfer window's open. Do you think he's going to be sold, Emma?
I don't know. We need to get him tied down. We need to keep him, because I'm sorry. We can't rely on him for the goals, but who's going to score the goals? I really don't know, Phil. I can't give you an honest answer, but I know we need to tie him down.
Deep down, your gut feeling?
My gut feeling he's going to go. That's my
Right,
good feeling.
okay.
And
Terry?
My good feeling is going to stay.
Terry?
My good feeling is he's going to stay, and I think he won't sign a contract to the end of the season. If he signs a contract, that's just my opinion. The only way I think he'll go is if one of the big clubs in one of the clubs in the Premier League are really struggling for a striker and they pay a lot of money. I think he won't go anywhere in the Championship. I think he'll stay at Sunderland rather go anywhere in the Championship. I don't know if Rangers have that much money. I don't know how much money they've got to spend, but I think the only way he'll go is if a Premier League club comes in for him and are desperate for a striker. But I think our good feeling is he's going to stay.
Right, okay. Jack, before I go to you, just very quickly back to the chat on here. Colin Major says, Emma, are you okay? I get the feeling you have toothache. Tony Lee, friend of the show, says, where's the 3 Vs? Tony, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Jack, do you think we're going to sell Stewart?
Not in this window. I think he probably will sign. I think he might, though, be just hedging his bets a little bit. So he might be thinking, I'm not going to sign a contract in January. I'm going to see what interest there is. His agent might be in his E-roll as well, saying, look, hang fire. The Sunderland contract's probably going to be on the table February the 1st, February the 2nd, when the window is shut. So just see what happens, see if we do get any interest. And then in February, when you know you're going to be at Sunderland, then maybe sign a new contract or maybe wait till the end of the season, as Terry says. In terms of, who he goes to, I think it'd be stupid to go to another Championship team, because I think really, in terms of, it can only be money. It can't be size of club really, because we're not that far off being a promotion team. So it can only be money, and if it is money, then we just need to match whatever he wants. Whatever he wants, break the pay structure if we have to, because he's that important to us. You saw when he come on, not only did he score the goal, he lifts our players. The Sunderland players are lifted when Ross Stewart's on the pitch. He makes such an impact to them as well. Everyone gets a lift. The fans get a lift. You're just a better team with Ross Stewart in it. So if it is money, and I think it can only be money, pay him what he wants. But I think hopefully he sees his future at Sunderland. Premier League clubs, yeah, it would have to be a big offer, but I think it would only be the team struggling against relegation. And then that sort of flies in his theory, because if he wants to be a Premier League club and he signs for a Premier League club now that are in danger of relegation, they could go down. We might win in the playoffs. It's unlikely, but we might be a league above them. So then what would his position be? So yeah, I think he should be okay now. But see what happens at the end of the season.
Right. Just very quickly back to the chat. Johnny Cool says, keep Stewart at all costs, regards of pay structure. I agree, but the club doesn't work like that. Mick Griffiths, if Stewart gets transferred, just goes to show how little ambition we have. Listen, I really, really hope I'm wrong, but I can see them going. I just the way the clubs run, I can see them selling him, and if they sell him, then it's an absolute disgrace. Like I said, I really, really hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And he's they should be building the team around him. Like you said, he lifts the whole team. He's come back from injury. He's banging them in for fun. If the club can't see his value, then what are they even doing there in charge of it? Brian Watson says we are a selling club. Like I said, I do hope I'm wrong with that. What about we do need another striker? Obviously, Sims has been recalled back to Everton. What I want to ask you, if he was available, I think he's gone back to Everton anyway. Would you take Nathan Broadhead? Terry?
Isn't he not been getting the signed for Ipswich or something?
Yeah,
Is that not happening?
No, I think didn't he get recalled back to Everton? I think he got recalled to Everton from Wigan. Whether anything's happened in the last day or so, I don't know. But if he was available, would you take him? But there's a lot of fans say, no, I wouldn't have him back. He had his chance. He could have been with us and what have you. But would you take him if he was there available?
Nah, I think he's going to Ipswich. I wouldn't take him. I think there's more chance of us getting Sims back, to be honest. I think Everton are in trouble. I think they need to raise funds. I think they've only recalled Sims back so they can sell him at some point. I think anyway. I think that like there's more chance. I mean, I think in the interview with Christian Speakman, he kind of alluded towards that. There's still a possibility that we actually could buy Sims back. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right. Well, people on the chat coming in anyway saying David Walker's saying he's going to Ipswich. Are done reductions, which I think's Bradley says Ipswich have signed Nathan Broadhead for 1.5 million. Ben Scottish Ben says it's been confirmed for 1.5 million to Ipswich as well. So right, so forget that then. We've been linked with Johnson Clark Harris. Emma, would he be a good buy? Do you think good fit for us?
Yeah, can't say why not. Can't give you any reason why not. I think you would. I think you'd probably come in and fit in nicely with the squad, if I'm honest with you.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, I want to give a shout out to Marianne and Carl Taylor, our friends from Boston, Massachusetts, back on the chat again. You guys, good to see you back again. Jack, Johnson Clark Harris, would he be a good fit for us?
Not for me personally, Phil. I think if we were still in League One, Johnson Clark Harris would be a decent option for us. But I think if you look at his goal scoring record, most of his goals at Peterborough have been in League One. He was at Bristol Rovers. I'm looking, he scored some goals, but most of his goals have been in League One. He's sort of 28, he's 29 at the end of the summer. He's not someone who we're going to really progress on or really look to sell on. So I'd be avoiding somebody like that, to be fair. I think there's been a lad from Leeds mentioned that Joel Girlhart, how to get my teeth in, I don't know how to pronounce it, Joel Girlhart. He might be available on loan. He would be somebody that I would be pretty interested in. So wait and see what happens there. Or potentially a free agent just on a short-term deal. Maybe somebody like, his name was mentioned last week, Rondon. I think he's not going to be, he's a bit over the hill, but on a short-term deal, 3 or 4 months till the end of the season, something on the right deal, of course. Wouldn't cost us any money to get us by to the summer, somebody like that. I think you've got to realise that the market in January is not great if you're really looking to get key targets. It's not a panic buy market, but it's certainly a seller's market. You know what I mean? If you're trying to buy and sign players, sometimes you end up paying through the nose for them. So there are options out there, and we definitely need somebody, but I would say no to Johnson Clark Harris.
Right, okay. Just very quickly on the chat, Brian Watson says Sims going to Coventry in an exchange. David Walker shoots that down, says he can't play for Coventry this season. It's a 2-club rule, can only play for us or Everton. Ben Hansen, whoever he is, don't know who the guy is, but he says not Clark Harris. Could go last season for Peterborough in the Championship. Glyn Jones says we'll bring players in from the continent, apparently. So, Terry, your views on Johnson Clark Harris?
No, it's not for me either. I'm sorry, but I don't think he fits the model that's going on with the club as well. I don't think he'll come in. I think he'll probably want too much money anyway, to be fair. He didn't do well last season with Peterborough, and I think, like I say, at 28, 29, he's just... I think we'll end up getting probably a loan, a couple of loans or a loan coming in, another striker or a really young lad who sort of wants to get away like we did with one of the 2 youngsters, like Certain, the youngster come maybe through that. But I don't think we'll get Clark Harris at all. There's something about Clark Harris I don't like anyway.
Right, Tony Lee is agreeing with you, Jack, about Geldhart, saying he would be great. Charlie Rowan's saying about what about recalling Jack Diamond? Would that be a good option? What do you think?
He's not. I wouldn't see Jack Diamond as an out-and-out striker, though. He's not really. I don't know what the chat thinks and what Emma and Terry think, but I wouldn't see Jack Diamond as an out-and-out forward. To me, he's more of a wide man or a wide forward. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be pinning your hopes on, if anything did sell short, nothing happened, I wouldn't be pinning your hopes on Jack Diamond scoring your regular goals in the Championship. So I think he's a different type of player to the one that we would be looking for.
Terry, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I completely agree with Jack. I don't think he's a striker as such, but I think if we did lose Sims over the last couple of days and we couldn't get anybody else in, I think if we called him back, I think he's doing well, but I don't think, I wouldn't mind him coming back to the club. just in case, there's backup, but I don't think he's going to be the striker. Like,
right, okay. We're sort of fast running out of time now, so we are going to start to wrap it up. Season so far, 26 games played, 38 points, 8th in the table. You got to be happy with that, Emma.
Yeah, 100%. I'd aim for mid-table. I don't want to get the playoffs. I really don't. They say where you are Christmas is generally where you end up at the end of the season, but it is tight. I'm more than happy with where we're at the minute.
So if we make the playoffs and make the final and go to where we won't be going because you're not happy with that.
Is the Pope a Catholic? Of course I'd bloody go.
Right. I'll chuck in you, Terry, then, and I'll add that to it. You've got to be happy with the season so far. But, should we be pushing for the playoffs? Because if we did go up to the Premier League, would it be too soon for us to go straight up like that, Terry?
No, it depends if they have money. They're not telling us about the money, are they? We don't know how much money they've got actually to spend. So maybe nobody wants to shout on saying we want to make the playoffs. They're going to take it calm, cool, and collected and say, yeah, we're just going to cement our place in the championship. But if we make the playoffs, I'm sure they'll be happy about it. But I think so far the season's been good. Definitely been good, and I've been happier if Sims was still here. And I'd be happy after the transfer window closes and Stewart's still here. Much happier then, but we do need another striker in, to be fair, because we can't just rely on Stewart.
I mean, it's one of them things. I mean, God, I'd love to make the playoffs and win it and go up. I mean, God, it would be brilliant. And I think it's 100 million or something the playoff finals worth. If that 100 million was going to then be pumped straight into the team what went into the Premiership to give us a chance of even finishing fourth bottom, that'd be great. But I just think it's the Stuart Donald are waiting for that step in the Premiership to go, gives them money and so on. Jack, you've got to be happy with the season so far, surely. Should we push for the playoffs? Would it be too soon if we ended up going?
Yeah, to answer your first question, Phil, I'm happy with the season. Absolutely. I thought mid-table, probably sort of 12th to 15th would be where we were at this stage. So we're sort of 6, 7, 8 places higher and a good few points higher up than I would think. I thought we're playing really good football at times as well. Some of the performances this season, you think of Rotherham at home, Reading away from home, Birmingham away, Millwall at home. We played some Wigan away the other week. You know what I mean? The other day, a week or so ago, played really, really well a lot of the times this season. You can see a good vision ahead for the football club as well. Would it be too early to go up? I'd take going up. I don't think you can pick and choose when you get promotion. I agree, though. I think that, to be honest, I don't think we're quite good enough to go up this season. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd love to see us win the final at Wembley again, but I don't think we're quite good enough at this stage. We're nearly there, but we're not quite there. But if you do go up, and even if you yo-yoed for a couple of years, you get a lot of money, you can build the club again. So I think in terms of you can't pick and choose when you go up, it would be great to go up. But I just think we're just a little bit early yet. Maybe next season have a better, stronger go to when I think we'll be a bit more ready. And I think, probably more capable of going up, because I think we're just a little bit short at the moment.
David Walker on the chat makes a fair point. If we get 100 million for going up, you get 100 million apparently for finishing bottom. So even if you went up and then came down, 200 million at thereabouts. Terry, you was one in there?
Yeah, I mean, I think wasn't Forest in the same situation last season? They got the playoffs and did they win the playoffs, Forest, last season? I'm sure they did. And then they've had to spend a hell of a lot of money over the summer, spend a hell of a lot of money, and they're out of the bottom 3 at the moment. They can still go down, but you take that chance, don't you? Like you said, you get 100 million, then you get another 100 million finished bottom of the Premier League. So you're sort of in a good position to go back up like Burnley are this season, to respond straight away. So I'd take going up any day of the week, personally, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, that's just about it. We're going to have to wrap it up. Before we do, we want to put an appeal out there. We are looking for more volunteers to join the channel, especially if you think you could do the live commentary on games, if you live out of the area and you don't go to the home games, and a bit like what Terry does on his channel. I know you're not be up to Terry's standard because he's a professional and Sky are touting him and everything. Everybody wants him. Netflix, Disney Plus, they all want him. But if you think you can do that, get in touch. We'd love to get you on board and to join our team doing that. Great to be back. Don't forget, we are going to be here every Monday and Thursday. We're going to be sticking more content on the channel as well. Terry, I've enjoyed coming back on a Monday.
I'd say been a different change, definitely brightened up my day, because Mondays, like I said before, I don't like Mondays.
Boom, Sam, rats. Jack, have you enjoyed the show tonight then?
Yeah, it's been good to get back in the swing of things. Flew over that show, I thought, plenty to talk about, and yeah, good to get back in the swing of things.
And Emma, I've enjoyed it. It's good to be back on a Monday.
It is good. It's just very bad that it's a Monday, not a Sunday, but not getting ready for the start of a week. But no, it's great to be back.
Superb. Terry, you want the last word?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, basically, because Philly keeps on breaking up, the channel are looking for anybody who wants to commentate and do a live stream for any home games at the Stadium of Light. So anybody feels they can do commentary, live commentary for the home matches at the Stadium of Light. That's what Phil was trying to say before.
As long as you've got a better internet connection than Phil, though.
Yes, apologies for that. We will have that sorted on Thursday. I do say that. Terry, just say bye to everybody, would you?
Hey, everybody.
Jack, sign out as you normally would.
Happy New Year to one and all, firstly, and see you later, lads and lasses.
Emma, just say bye to all our lovely viewers, would you?
Bye, lovely viewers.
Thanks for tuning in. We are back on Thursday. We'd love to see you then, 7 o'clock. Tune in. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're a member of the channel, watch for your name going up the credits at the end. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.